আচ্ছা মই স্ক্ৰিনটো শ্বেয়াৰ কৰিম তোলা চাবা তোমালোকৰ সবৰে এক্সেস আছে নে হেৰি তোমাৰ এডিটি পোৰ্টেলত আছে ন তাতে তোমাৰ কেতিয়াবা চাইছা নে এইবিলাক আমি একচুয়ালি মানে কি হয় আমি কিছুমান লিংক চিন তাতে শ্বেয়াৰ কৰো তোমালোকে চাইছা নে কেতিয়াবা এইবিলাক ক্লাছৰ নোটবুক বিলাক তাতে
চাইছিলো এই কালি
চাইছা না
লাষ্ট সেমিস্টার চাইছিলো
দেখিছা নে কোৱাচোন এইটো তোমাৰ স্ক্ৰিন দেখিছা তোমালোকে
স্যার
দেখিছো স্যাৰ
আচ্ছা এইটো এই তোমাৰ চোৱা যেতিয়া তোমালোকে ৰিপজিটৰিত যাবা ইয়াতে পাবা ঠিক আছে আমি গোটেইবিলাক নোট ইয়াতে আপডেট কৰি দিছো অলৰেডি ইয়াৰ পৰা তোমালোকে ডাইৰেক্ট চাব পাৰা আজি ক্লাছটো ইয়াৰ পৰা লওঁ তেতিয়া তোমালোকে আইডিয়া এটা পাবা কেনেকৈ চেক চাব পাৰি ইয়াৰ পৰা আচ্ছা লাষ্ট ক্লাছ আমি কি চালো তোমাৰ কোৱাচোন ESX এর ওপৰত চালো ন
হয় স্যাৰ yes sir.
what is ESX now okay so আজি আমি কি চাম তোমাৰ according to syllabus one more topic going to learn this is what the Vmware Workstation Pro আৰু Player ঠিক আছে Workstation Pro আৰু Player আমি এইখিনি চাই লম এটা this is nothing but what a type 2 hypervisor ইয়াতে নেই মান ক্লোজ আচ্ছা চোৱাচোন তোমাৰ কি এইটো সবে দেখিছা ন স্ক্ৰিনটো চোৱাচোন VMware Workstation Pro is a hosted hypervisor that runs on x86 version of Windows and Linux operating system okay এটো তোমাৰ কি হয় কোৱা উইন্ডোজৰ কাৰণেও হয় বা তোমাৰ লিনাক্সৰ কাৰণেও হয় এটা কাম কৰা মিউট কৰি থৈ দিয়া গোটেইবিলাকে যেতিয়া কথা কোৱা আনমিউট কৰি ল'বা ঠিক আছে
Okay, sir.
সবে মিউট কৰি ৰাখি দিয়া যেতিয়া লাগা হয় তেতিয়া আনমিউট কৰি পেলাই ক'লে আচ্ছা এটা কি ক'লে তোমাৰ হোস্টেড হাইপাৰভাইজাৰ মানে কি হয় কোৱা so this type of hypervisor আচ্ছা ক'ব পাৰিবানে কোৱাচোন what is meant by hosted hypervisor কোৱা যিকোনো এজনে ক'ব পাৰিবানে what is meant by hosted hypervisor ডিসকাস তো কৰিছো আগতে ন এটো কি আছিলে there are two type of hypervisor কি আছিলে এটা hosted আৰু তোমাৰ এটা bare metal okay bare metal তোমাৰ কি আছিলে type 1 যেটো আমি কি কৰিব পাৰো ডাইৰেক্টলি তোমাৰ হার্ডওয়্যার উপর ইনস্টল কৰিব পাৰো ন which work as an operating system right but this hosted one is nothing but the type 2 hypervisor okay which is installed on top of your operating system okay that's what's called what the hosted আচ্ছা x80 x64 মানে কি হয় কোৱা তোমাৰ 64 বিট আৰু তোমাৰ 32 বিট অপাৰেটিং সিস্টেম okay so it enables user to set up virtual machine on a single physical machine etu আমি সবে জানো okay and use them simultaneously along with the actual machine okay and this is the advantage of our virtual machine okay later on we will execute one experiment okay so what we'll do we will install our Kali Linux or any type of Linux operating system on our virtual machine okay and we're trying to and we'll try to share the file between the operating system or a virtual machine installed with Linux version with our host operating system Windows okay and we'll see how we can communicate the file in these two type of different system okay one is your physical one and one is your virtual one okay this experiment we will do later on sharing of file between two operating system okay and if your architecture support if your hardware support or you can go for creating two virtual machine. One is based on Linux and one is based on Windows. Okay, and you can see how the file is going to be transferred between these two virtual machine. Okay, so we will perform this type of experiment, but this is again depend upon your hardware configuration. Okay, if your hardware configuration does not support more than two or more than one virtual machine to be created, then this experiment cannot be done. Okay, we'll see later on. Acha, each virtual machine can execute its own operating system. Yes, we know it, including versions of Microsoft, Windows, Linux, and BSD. Whatever operating system we want, you can install it. Okay. See, this is the notes of your Workstation Pro. See, all the different features and the mechanism of work regarding type 1 and type 2 are exactly same. Okay, you will not get any major differences. Okay, only difference is that the deployment option. One can be deployed without the help of operating system of the host machine, and one is deployed with the help of or on top of the operating system. Okay, otherwise the basic purpose is exactly same. We are going to create a virtual machine. Okay, install operating system, then application software, then we'll work as if we are in the physical machine. Okay, regarding history and all, please go through it. আচ্ছা এই নোটটো তোমালোকে চাই ল'বা. Okay, it is mentioned VMware Workstation supports bridging existing host network adapter and sharing physical disk drive and USB device with the virtual machine. Okay, so this is important. So whenever you are going to install any virtual machine on your, or sorry, to create any virtual machine on your physical one, there you will get two options to connect the internet. Okay, one in the first case, the system will generate their own set of IPs and assign to the virtual machines. Okay, that means if internet is accessible to your physical machine, then automatically internet is accessible to your physical to your virtual machines also. Okay, but there are two different type of connecting option. Okay, one option is what the bridge adapter. If you go for bridge adapter, that means whatever subnetting or the whatever IP range is used in the physical machine, this is exactly replicated to your virtual machine. Okay, for some experiment, we will have to go for changing the network connection. Okay, sometime bridging or sometime the other one. Okay, so that based on our requirement, we can get access to our network credential. Okay, actually regarding practical, I'll show you all these options. Okay, how to configure your different virtual machines. আচ্ছা তোমালোকে কৰিছা নেকি আগতে এইবিলাক কেতিয়াবা কোনোবাই কোৱাচোন কাৰোবাৰ আইডিয়া আছে নেকি কেনেকৈ তোমাৰ এইবিলাক সেটআপ কৰিম এই নেটৱৰ্কত কৰিছা নেকি কোনোবাই কোৱাচোন আগতে কৰিছা নে আচ্ছা এই এক মিনিট হোল্ড কৰাচোন দেই এই আমাৰ কলিগ এজনে ফোন কৰি আছে নতুন জয়েন কৰিছে মই কিবা আছে তাৰ মই কৈ আছো দেই তাৰ পাছত তুমি ৰিজিউম কৰিছো কোৱাচোন আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে বাৰু দিয়া এই কাটি হ'ব দে কথা মানে কথা আচ্ছা যি নহওক তোমাৰ so these are the different options of creating networking and deploying your virtual machines okay that's why তোমাৰ VMware Workstation Pro can save the state of a virtual machine at any instant okay this is called a snapshot okay do you have any idea regarding snapshot what is meant by snapshot anyone snapshot
স্ক্ৰীনশ্বট লোৱা নিচিনাই নেকি ছাৰ
আচ্ছা আৰু কোৱাচোন কোনোবাই তোমাৰ স্নেপশ্বট মানে কি বুজি পোৱা হোৱাট ইজ মিন বাই স্নেপশ্বট someone is waiting. What is mean by snapshot? আচ্ছা তুমি চাই লোৱা যেতিয়া তুমি এটা কম্পিউটাৰত তুমি কিবা কাম কৰিবা ঠিক আছে সাপোজ আজি তুমি কি কৰিলা 9টাত তুমি কন্টিনিউয়াসলি তুমি 5টাৰ পৰা কাম কৰি আছা ন ৰাতি তোমাৰ 12টালৈ তোমাৰ প্লেন আছে সাপোজ তুমি এজিউম কৰা at 6 of pm your system is corrupted suppose তোমার কি হল সিস্টেম তোমার করাপ্ট হয়ে গেল তো তোমার কি হবে কোয়া all the settings or whatever things you have done from the morning all are at risk okay they all are gone to avoid this type of circumstances you can take the snapshot okay snapshots means what whatever means the whatever configuration we have done till now we can make a copy of all of these and we will save in a config file okay that means whenever it is required that means from this point the current state of the machine can be retrieved okay so basically this is done for the disaster recovery okay if disaster happen before the task has been completed okay to resume from a certain point we can go for the snapshot okay snapshot means what the whatever may be the configuration of the operating system at a particular amount of time it can be recorded in a config file for future use okay and this VMware Workstation Pro support the snapshot option okay that means you can make one image file of your existing virtual machine settings okay so that during the time of the disaster at least from some time you can recover it okay you see suppose you have taken the snapshot at 4 p.m okay and your system is corrupted at 6 p.m this from 4 to 6 data you have totally lose it okay you will not there is no chance of recovering this data but up to 4 p.m this data can be retrieved okay so for this purpose in some specialized paper you will find two different options one is RPO and one is RTO okay recovery point objective and the recovery time objective okay and the amount of data loss is termed as the RPO okay that means RPO তোমার যিমান frequent হবো data loss তোমার ইমান কম হবে okay and in the RPO we are taking the snapshot of our system বলে পাইছা নে তোমাৰ ডিজাস্টাৰ ৰিকভাৰী এনেকুৱা পেপাৰ পঢ়িছা নে আগতে কোৱাচোন পঢ়িছা নে আৰপিউ আৰপিউ পাইছা ন আৰপিউ ওকে আৰপিউ তোমাৰ কি কয় কোৱা কি কৰিবা তুমি হা কোৱা 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 what is RPO
sir.
আচ্ছা আরপিউ কি আছিলে কোৱা তোমাৰ সাপোজ তুমি কিমানখিনি ডাটা তুমি লস কৰিলা ওকে the amount of data a configuration can tolerate okay that means from suppose you are taking the backup at 4 that means from 4 to 6 this much of amount of data you have to compromise if there is a disaster okay so for that purpose snapshot is useful okay so this VMware workstation okay provide us the facility of snapping shot of our existing configuration of the virtual machine okay see these snapshots can later be restored okay if, effectively running the virtual machine to the state okay so from this line this is clear as it was and free and any post snapshot damage to the VM okay? So it can be recoverable okay Himanshu Nath is waiting let him entry. The next one, VMware Workstation includes the ability to group multiple virtual machines, okay, in an inventory folder. Okay, so it is act like a cluster. The machines in such a folder can then be powered on and powered off as a single object. Okay, suppose you are dealing with big data type of activities. Okay, now suppose one interesting things regarding your Hadoop and this type of big data architecture is that to analyze a very huge set of data you generally need one supercomputer okay but for our normal user supercomputer is not a joke okay we cannot afford it because it demand very high cost and actually high technicians and a very good healthy environment. Okay, now the thing is that if we cannot go for affording a supercomputer, how we will get process all this big data? Okay, so there is an options called the clustering. In the clustering, suppose in your lab you have altogether 70 PCs. Okay, now and assume that all these 70 PC, all you have say 8 GB of RAM. Now 70 into 8, how much RAM you received? Okay, and suppose we have i5 or i3 processor installed in all the 70 PCs. Okay, now i3 means you have four different core. Now see 4 into 70. That means how much you will find? 280 core. Now your this cluster will act like a supercomputer. Okay, and Hadoop infrastructure manage this type of cluster. Okay, for big data processing. Now, this is also supported if you are deploying virtual machine on top of your VMware workstation. Okay, so these all are the some of measure, concern, or the options you can say feature in your VMware Workstation Pro. Okay, which is nothing but a Type 2 hypervisor. Okay, so in short, what you can do, first of all, you can go for network binding. Okay, as per your IP address scheme requirement. Okay, next one is your, it can allow you to take the snapshot of your virtual machine state for the disaster recovery. Okay, and third one is you can go for creating the virtual machine cluster for big data and other high-end processing. Okay, so these all are the some of the features of your this VMware workstation. Okay, you please have a look at in these steps. If you have any doubt, then let me clarify. Okay? এইখিনি চোৱাচোন, তোমাৰ ডাউট থাকিলে মোক সুধিবা, একবাৰ চাই লোৱা গোটেইখিনি। আচ্ছা, বুজি পালা না চবে, না ডাউট আছে কোৱা?
Sir.
ঠিক আছে না? Okay, now if it is clear, then we will go towards the next topic. Okay. See, this class I am taking from your editive portal. Okay, so here you will find everything. It's the ERP na, so a bit slower. Okay, you have to wait. Lots of data are there na. In the population, it takes some time. See, one product is your VMware Pro. Okay, and the second product is your this one, VMware Player. Okay, now we'll go towards the player. See, you will not get any differences in its basic workings. Okay, so you will find some more advantage in some version and some less advantage in the other version. Okay, so this is a difference. But in our most of the cases, we will be happy with our VMware player. Okay, so Pro is required for a production environment. Okay, but if you infrastructure support, then you can go for this also. Okay, no restriction. See, VMware Workstation Player allows you to run a second isolated operating system on a single PC. Okay, so with many users ranging from a personal educational tool to a business tool for providing a simple experience to run a corporate desktop on a BYO device. Okay, see, in today's world, all the company or the corporate follow this strategy BYO. That means bring your own device. Okay, Boyd in Einer sir, we are following Boyd. Bring your own laptop. That means whatever laptop you have, if you please bring it, company will pay for this. Okay, per month they will give you just something like this 500, 700, 1000. Okay, for your device you are using. Okay, company will not provide you anything. Okay, so for this type of environment, this is suitable because this is very lightweight. VMware Workstation Player. Okay, if you go for Pro and the ESXi, yeah, you just forget about ESXi because ESXi is installed on your server only. Okay, but in most of the times, you see, no person will uh, travel in the corporate with a big server. Okay, all the time they have one laptop. Okay, for the laptop, if you are using a laptop, because this is your multi-purpose PC, so the application installed on this PC must be lightweight. Okay, and if you are using this VMware, okay, so VMware Workstation Player is the most lightweight hypervisor as compared to other two. Okay, other two means ESXi and the VMware Pro. Okay, but I suggest you always go with Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, Oracle VirtualBox is the ultimate light one. Okay, so the interface is very simple. Any user, whether it may be professional or first time user, they are easily do something in the Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, but it's up to you. If you are using working in some company where they have taken the license of VMware Workstation or a VMware, okay, they are using the Pro or a player, then you have to go for this option only. Okay. So this is now see Workstation Player leverage the VMware vSphere hypervisor to provide a simple yet mature and stable local virtualization solution. Okay, see whenever you start the journey in VMware, all the time you will get confused. Okay, what is meant by vSphere? What is meant by workstation? What is meant by player? And different things is there inside your VMware. So always you remember all these product come under one umbrella. This is called what the vSphere. Okay, so these all workstation player, Pro, ESXi all come under this vSphere. Okay, this one. So this is a small introduction regarding your VMware Workstation Player. So how can I conclude? This is nothing but a Type 2 hypervisor, but this is lightweight as compared to your Workstation Pro. Okay, for what environment this is suitable? For the corporate or the educational environment, this is suitable. Why? Because of its lightweight nature. Okay. Now, see host operating system. What are the different host operating system is there on top of which you can install your workstation player? You will find most of the common ones. See Ubuntu. So this is not a 14 one. Now it is 20 point this one. That means if you are using the Ubuntu operating system, that means easily you can deploy your workstation player. Okay. Next one is your Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Next one is your CentOS, Oracle Linux, OpenSUSE, and the SUSE Linux. So these all are the different operating system which is used in the corporate or the educational institute. Okay. So for this is on top of all these institute, this operating system, you can deploy your VMware Workstation Player for your purpose. Okay. Now see this is the host one. Now the thing is that you will find I think in this list no Windows is mentioned. Okay, but from my side I'm telling all Windows versions are support for this workstation player. Okay, So they're using the open source, okay, as a host one. That's why they are not listing it. But I have personally used this player in Windows 7 also and Windows 10. Okay. That's right. Now, suppose you have installed this workstation player on top of your host operating system. Okay, now the time is to install the guest operating system. Okay, now we'll see what are the different guest operating system you can configure on the virtual machine which is deployed on top of your VMware workstation player. Okay, then this guest operating system include this one: Windows 8X, 7, XP, Ubuntu, Red Hat, SUSE, Oracle, Debian, Fedora, OpenSUSE, Mint, and CentOS. That means all different varieties of operating system which is most commonly used, all can be deployed to the virtual machine which is run on top of your workstation player. Okay, so it's a very versatile one. System requirement. Okay, now I am claiming that this is the what the most lightweight. Now you can see what are the basic configuration is required to install your workstation player. See, whenever you go for choosing your preferred hardware, there will be always two options. Okay, one option is there to install the product. Okay, suppose in some specification it is mentioned that 512 MB or 1 GB of RAM is required to install the operating system. Okay, but in the practical scenario you will find that it is too much slower. It demand more than this much of memory. Okay, the company will claim that I am telling about my thing. Okay, that means to install this I need this type of RAM, okay, or this much of RAM or the processor speed. Okay, now it is based on your application. Okay, what type of application you are developing or you are running. Okay, you will have to configure your machine according to this. Okay, so always there are two different scenarios you will have to consider when you work in a production environment. Okay, because you see, in case of your Windows 2016, Microsoft claimed that if you have only 512 MB of RAM, you can install it. Okay, but in practical scenario, you will find that if your RAM is not okay, not if you that means 8 GB, you will not be able to any task in your operator in your server operating system. Why? Because when operating system is installed and configured, lots of modules or the third-party tools are installed. Okay, so it will increase the load of the operating system in the RAM and the CPU. So it will not work. Okay, so the system configuration they are telling is to install it. Okay, that means in this configuration you may not be able to run your application. Okay, now one suggestion regarding whenever you go for working in any of the virtualized environment, if it is possible, please configure your PC with minimum 16 GB of RAM. Okay, if 16 GB is not possible, then it can be managed with 8 GB. Okay, but after 8 GB, you just forget it. You will not be able to do anything. Okay, because you see, to run the host operating system you need some memory. To run this hypervisor you need some memory. Okay, and the remaining memory you have to configure for your virtual machines. Okay, so you please go for the 16 GB of PC, then smoothly you can do with two or three virtual machine install on top of your host operating system. Okay, so this type of configuration you will be going with. Okay, now what they are telling, system using processor launched in 2011 or later are supported except Intel Atom is not supporting and these all are not supporting. Okay, that means all the CPU which is launched okay after 2011 including this one, all CPUs are included. Okay, actually thing is that from this 2011 all these i3 okay i5 and AMD different CPUs are come with lots of cores and advanced features. Okay, so for all these features, this version is supported. Otherwise, it will not support. Okay, so this is regarding your workstation player. Okay, now if someone tells you that what is the basic difference between workstation player and a workstation pro, what you will tell? You have to tell that workstation player is a lightweight, okay, lightweight hypervisor of type 2, whereas workstation pro is a heavyweight, or you can say production environments are supporting type 2 hypervisor from the VMware. Okay, now rest of the other thing, how the working mechanisms and all are exactly same. Okay, someone come with more features, someone come with less features. So this one. Okay, yeah, up to this point, anyone have anything to ask? Please let me know. See, whenever you browsing the notes and all, I have giving you some link. Okay, so here you will find additional note. I don't know how your portal shows. Okay, but all these things I have put there. What are they? First of all, you will find the note. Okay, class note. Then after class note, you will find the material for extra reading. Okay, then you will find the research paper link. Then you find this one. Okay, reference okay, reference material. Then we'll find a video from your YouTube link. Okay, please go through all the link. Okay, and after each and every class I will upload this also, self-made video. Okay, self-made matlab this class recording for your future purpose. You can go for this class link also. Okay, so in
Okay,
this
sir.
way we'll connect. Okay, please have a look up to this point. If you have anything to ask, then please clarify regarding this VMware Player and VMware Pro. একবার চাইলোৱা
Sir, নেদেখা হলো।
দেখা নাই দেখিছেনে এতিয়া
এতিয়া দেখ।
কোন কোন প্ৰেজেন্ট আছে এইটো স্নিগ্ধা আছে ন আজি চিয়াৰ
কিন্তু আনমিউট হতে ইমান টাইম লাগে আজিকালি
হা হা
আনমিউট নহয় চাই পটককে
কি বা আচ্ছা কাম কৰিবা ঠিক আছে যোন আছে চিয়াৰ তোমাৰ এই ইয়াতে যিকেইটা আছে নামকেইটা এতিয়া লগে লগে দি দিবা ঠিক আছে কালি কালি চুলি চাফ কৰিছিলো আজি খাই গাড়ী লগ পোৱা নাই কোন কোন প্ৰেজেন্ট আছে অভিজিত অভিষেক বিদ্যুৎ বিৰাজ দেৱ দেৱাংগ হিমাংশু হিমাংক নৱজ্যোতি নিকিতা ৰিকি সায়েব স্নিগ্ধা আচ্ছা কোন কোন এবসেন্ট আছে তোমালোকৰ ইয়াতে টোটাল 22 ন তোমালোক
স্যার।
Yes, sir.
বাকি কেইটা ক'ত গ'ল 14 জন আছে যে প্ৰেজেন্ট বাকি কেইটা ক'ত
Gaurav absent. I don't know.
আনসুমান।
আচ্ছা
Suman.
চোৱা অনলাইন ক্লাছততো বেলেগ কৰিবলগীয়া নাই ন তুমি যি ড্ৰেছতে নকৰা যেনেকুৱা পজিশ্যনতে নাথাকা ন তুমিতো জাষ্ট খালি অন কৰি শুনি থাকিলেইতো হ'ল ন বেলেগতো কৰিবলগীয়া একো নাই
No.
নহয় কোৱাচোন এনে অযথা তোমাৰ এটেন্ডেন্সটো
Hi, sir.
লগ কৰি ৰাখিবা এক্সাম দিব নিদিব আৰু কিমান সমস্যা সেইখিনি ন এইখিনিতো এটলিষ্ট কৰিব পাৰা ন ৰেগুলাৰ ঠিক আছে ৰেগুলাৰ ক্লাছত আহিব প্ৰব্লেম হয় বাৰু এতিয়াতো আহিব লাগে ন
Hmm.
মাধুৰ্য ক'ত সি দেখোন কিবা চাকৰি পোৱা বুলিও কৈছে। আচ্ছা চোৱাচোন কাৰোবাৰ কিবা ডাউট আছে যদি কোৱা ইয়াতে, নহ'লে নেক্সট টপিকলৈ যাম। Okay, if you're clear, then we'll move towards the next one. Okay, we'll see
Okay.
some of the advantages and disadvantages of our VMware families. Okay. আচ্ছা মই এটা বেলেগ এটা লিংক শ্বেয়াৰ কৰিম হা, তুমি চাবাচোন দেখি পোৱা নেকি?
sir.
আহিছে নে কোৱাচোন? ওলাইছে ন? হা পাইছা নে কোৱাচোন? VMware disadvantages দেখা নাই? দেখি পোৱা নাই?
আহিছে স্যার, আহিছে।
আহিছে ন? So instead of going all these things,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
directly we'll go for this one. VMware advantages. কি advantages তোমাকে পোৱা? No operating system is necessary for concluding and management component. Okay, because if you are installing the ESXi, then already VM kernel operating system is inbuilt inside this type 1 hypervisor. Okay, no security patches necessary for concluding layer components. Okay, this is already their architecture is very much secure. Okay, you don't need to go for any security patches. Next one is excellent vendor support. Okay, so I'm telling you regarding this virtualization of a corporate environment, VMware is the market leader. Okay, so they will have provide you excellent vendor support. Next one is out of the box governance features set. Okay, now what is meant by this governance? Any idea regarding governance? I think we have learned something in cloud governance. Okay, so what is meant by this governance?
Full, sir.
Question governance. So why I'm stopping here, because this term is interdisciplinary. Okay, so you may not have some idea. See, governance means that suppose VMware is a company of US based. Okay, now suppose you are going to deploy VMware in China. Okay, now and you can know that China and Pakistan are a very good friend. Yes or not? Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. China and Pakistan is very good friend.
Sir, ভালকে একো শুনাই
সিহঁতে ইণ্ডিয়াক ধ্বংস কৰিব আৰু।
Okay, China and Pakistan's China and America are the rival, you can say. Okay, if they are the neighboring country, every day they will fight. Okay, no problem. So this is the governance. That means whatever rules and regulation imposed by the government to work, okay, to operate to a company, these all sets of rules and regulation is called what a governance. Okay, you can imagine such type of governance is there. Okay, in Australia, suppose Australian government tell that if you want to set up any data center in my country, this is okay, but you cannot take even any email id type of data also for of my country's people to the other to the outside world without my permission. Okay, that means you see nowadays all the companies are using or the stolen the data of the customer. Okay, see every day we're getting some lots of business promotional emails. Okay, and your in your phone number as an SMS and all. Okay, so that means we in the Indian country does not have such a strong governance regarding this IT laws and all. Okay, so it will not be so much secure. But whenever you go for Australia and other New Zealand, these type of countries, their governance is too much strict. Okay. Now in India, but you can realize one thing that all the websites, okay, there is not open directly here. So you have to go for VPNs and all. Okay. So these are the governance. Okay. That means all the governments will allow some specified tasks. Okay, based on the sensitivity. Okay, so this one. And VMware claimed that their governance is this just out of box feature. That means all the things they have included regarding governance. Next one is available AWS app. That means you can deploy all your architecture from the AWS based infrastructure. Okay. Do you know what is AWS? Yeah, this is the most common term. Okay. For a cloud student, this is the most common term. Okay. AWS, Amazon Web Service. Okay. Yeah. Next we'll see about VMware disadvantages. So what are different disadvantages they are telling? See, incompatible with hardware that VMware does not support. Okay, this is the common one. In all the cases, you will find it. Okay, that means this is not generic one. VMware have some specified hardware requirement to install or use this. You have to use these sets of hardware only. Next one is complex device driver will slow the initialization time. Okay. Next one is steep learning curve. That means lots of product. Okay. If there is a lots of product, then how many product you will learn? Okay. That's what they are telling. Steep learning curve. And as a company, they're upgrading their product very soon and very frequently. Okay, the new product launches, you have to learn all these things. Okay, so that's why they're telling that steep learning curve. Next one is corrupt external code may slow initialization or hang a server. So this is the common practice in all the different software. This is the common practice. This is not included only to the VMware. Next one is trial software missing some functionality. This is bad. Okay, but whenever you go for Microsoft, the evaluation copy of a data center version of Windows 16 is exactly same that to that of your corporate environment deployment. Okay, so they are giving the everything there. But in case of in case of your this VMware, okay, the trial copy does not have all the features which is there in the production copy. Okay, so these all are some of the advantages and disadvantages of your VMware products. Okay, this is the general one. This is not the only one. Okay, so if exam will encounter this type of question, you have to write only this part. Okay, this is not required for you to be learned, but for extra you can go for this one. So where you will find all these things? You will find all these things in the portal. Okay, in the portal, whenever you go for extra note, you will get one button called view. Whenever you click on this view button, you will find this PDF material downloaded. Okay, and after that you can download these things from there. Okay,